great. Welcome. Now, we talked about the essence of strategy as a set of activities. And what we want to do is we recognize that we talked very briefly about there's a value proposition and there's a value chain. Between the value proposition and the value chain is a value creation of your company. It's the value creation activities and how they create value on the demand side and the supply side. So we're not going to talk about the supply side during this program. We're going to talk about the demand side because we're talking about virtual prospecting. So the value proposition is nothing more than the value you propose to the marketplace. And so the value proposition is the element of strategy that looks outward at customers at the demand side of the business. Okay, I should mention that this all comes from Michael Porter, Harvard Business School, the creator of strategy and the creator of value propositions, value chain, who taught everybody all of it. So the value proposition is the element of strategy that looks outward at customers at the demand side of the business. So looking at customers, that creates demand. So how do you do that? So there's a couple things you really want to be aware of as you execute your prospecting strategy. It's nothing you need to worry about too much. It's just recognize, what am I doing? What is the value proposition? How am I going to create value or demand in the marketplace? And the first part is positioning. So how are you positioned? How are you going to be positioned? And what do you want to be positioned for? So as an example, you want to specialize in segmentation, right? You want to specialize on one type of customer, one type of industry, because you can add a lot of value. So you are positioning yourself in that marketplace, in that sector, in that industry. How are you going to position yourself as someone that is of value? You're going to position yourself by specializing. You can't be a jack of all trades. There's no way you can add value if 1 minute you're calling on a care home, the next minute you're calling on a veterinarian, the next minute you're calling on shipping yards, the next minute you're calling on printing facilities. You're only going to be selling products, and you're going to be in a transactional relationship unless that customer, that prospect, is very ignorant on it, and you're only selling a little bit. Meaning you're selling a couple of cases of paper, as an example, a couple of cases of chemical, and they go, oh, okay, it's $200. Yeah, sure. You might get that sale. Maybe you're selling at list price or high points. It's a $200 sale. You're spending way too much time for maybe $100 profit plus minus your time, minus the freight, minus the picking of the order, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you need to position on how you can add value to get the accounts fast, quickly, and that they're going to listen to you. That's positioning. Putting yourself in position. In hand of positioning is segmentation. So you're positioning yourself as an authority and you're segmenting, as we talked about, on the industry you're going to call on. Those two things make up a large piece of the value proposition of how you are in the marketplace. Okay, you think about from McDonald's to Apple to these different companies on how they're positioned in the marketplace. So you're positioned as an authority, as someone that really knows what they're talking about, as well-dressed, well-articulated, however you are positioned. You're segmenting yourself in the market you're going to focus on. And then it's the 4 Ps. Now the 4 Ps is more of an industry term, but it's something you need to be aware of, and we'll tackle the 4 Ps a little bit in a moment. But it's product, price, promotion, and place, right? So that makes up the 4 Ps of marketing, or the value proposition in the marketplace, right? There's the price. How are you priced? Are you market share? Are you profit driven? How are you promoting the salespeople, right? It's through sales, it's through advertising, it's through radio, what have you. It's place. How are you distributing it? How are you distributing it? How is it being delivered? Is it being delivered virtually? Are you delivering it by truck? How are you? Are you distributing it? So these are the things that the 4 Ps kind of address. You don't need to worry about it too much, except in the fact that recognize that you are selling profit, not market share. You're selling profitability, not price. And therefore, you have to position yourself as an authority, as someone that adds value, and segment your market in order to be able to add that value. Now, we're going to look quickly and conclude strategy with looking at a competitive advantage.